Hey you guys, welcome back and I hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is about powders. Today I'm going to review the powders that I've tried in the past 2 years maybe. I'm someone who has a very specific criteria of how I want my powder to be and I'm just going to talk about that. So starting off with, I have dry skin and I've seen a lot of dry skin people, especially on YouTube, just not set their face. I cannot do that personally because I usually am in a humid hot weather. Also there is enough pollution around me that if I don't set my face with a powder, the dust around will set my face and stick to the foundation that I have on my face. And the second main reason is underneath the eyes. I need to set my concealer. I cannot go without setting it. Even if it's a really good concealer, it does crease slightly. So to set all of that in, I do need a powder. Specifically, if I had to say what I look into a powder, it would be, first of all, it should be affordable. I believe that drugstore, or for us, the affordable brands are good enough that I don't need to go to higher end prices to find a good powder. Second would be, it should set my under eyes properly. The third thing would be, it should be able to mattify my face, and then it should also be able to hold up to that mattifying feeling for a while at least. Fourth one would be, it should have my shade, or at least should have a translucent shade that I can use. So these four would be my basic main requirements that I think make a good powder in. So today I'm going to talk about 5 different powders and I'm going to review each and every one of them and then finally tell you guys a ranking of which one I prefer and what is the reason for that preference. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with the price and I'm gonna start off with the most expensive one. So the most expensive one that I have here is actually the tiniest one ever. So this is the Innisfree No Sebum mineral powder. This retails for 510 rupees and it contains 5 grams of product, which is the least amongst everything that I have today. So technically you're paying 102 rupees per gram. I personally got it for 357 rupees during Nika's pink sale and I think that's a good deal. The next one would be something that you can probably see my entire face in. This is the Lakme 95 Primer Plus Matte Powder Foundation. This is in the shade Honey Dew. It retails for 575 rupees for 9 grams of product. This is a compact powder. The Innisfree one was a loose powder. So for this you are paying 63.8 rupees and I got this on discount for 290. The third one that I do not have here today but I have panned it, so you can trust my review for that one, is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder. This retails for 480 rupees for 8.5 grams of product. We are paying 56.47 rupees per gram for this one and I personally got it for 384 rupees because I got it from a store and got it shade matched. The next one would be, people will see this and probably will wanna click out of this video, but it's the Wet n Wild MegaGlo contouring palette. This banana shade is the one that I'm gonna be talking about today. I will explain why I have this in my video despite this being out of stock on almost every website possible, but regardless, it retails for 599 rupees and it has 12.5 grams of product. Now half of it is the powder and half of it is the bronzer, but anyway it retails for 47.9 rupees per gram and I got it on discount for 299. So yeah, I got a good deal on this one too. And the last one I have is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder. This is in the shade 25 medium. This retails for 695 rupees for 20 gram of product. You're paying 34.75 rupees per gram and I personally got this for 500 rupees. So those were all the powders that I'm gonna talk about today. Now I'm gonna start off with the reviews. The first product that I'm gonna talk about is the Innisfree No Sebum mineral powder. It is a translucent powder and it comes in this tub, and for which I will say this is the most practical loose powder packaging that I've ever seen. It comes in this pretty mint color tub. You also get a puff. There is powder. It comes with a flip and this puff is basically on top of the holes from where the powder comes off. So even if you're manhandling this powder, your powder just does not come off unless you remove the puff, tap some out and then pick it up. The puff is also really good. It's really tiny, but that also makes it easy to get into your, let's say, inner corner areas. It's really soft. It works well. Despite being a loose powder, I actually really like the packaging. This is basically a no color powder. It has 0 color. Even if you're 10 shades darker than me, probably won't show up on your skin as white color. It just adapts to your skin really quickly. When you first start applying it, the application is matte and I think out of all the powders, this is the most matte you can go with everything. And I feel like if you're just wearing sunscreen, if you don't like having color powders, this would be a good option to check out. This easily lasts on me for 4 to 5 hours. When I say that my oils start to pop up after 4 to 5 hours, it's not like I'm getting entirely oily. It's just that it's the start of my face going slightly shinier. So if I had my powder, I would usually retouch, but it's not to a point where I have to run to the bathroom and retouch my face. I'm fine with it, but 4 to 5 hours is what I would consider the staying power for this one. The powder itself is, first of all, smells good. Second of all, it's so soft that once you apply and feel it on your face almost feels like a fabric. It's that soft. I do really like this powder. However, I feel that on my skin it did not stay out that well. This was the most mattifying one, but at the same time, the staying power, I feel like I have other powders that are better in terms of staying power. At the same time, this is more expensive. Yes, it's cute, but I don't think that I would like to depend on this for, let's say, a wedding. I would prefer to set my face with something else first, and if that mattifying effect is not enough, then I will go over with this, because it's such a thin layer. Even with the puff, even if you're tapping the puff in, it does a pretty good job of just adding a smooth thin layer of powder. So if you are an oily skin person, I would definitely suggest putting on a different powder underneath, and for the areas that you absolutely want them to be matte, like your T-zone maybe, I would add this powder on top of another powder. But yeah, it's expensive in terms of how much quantity you get, and I have better things in this video. So that was the Innisfree No Sebum powder. Next, let's get this guy out. The reason why I have this in the video is because even if it's not available in India, other countries have this. And second reason being, some Insta shops, I've seen them have this in stock. Beauty Bay, if anyone is placing an order from that website, I feel like you can get this because I've seen this product over there a few days ago, so that's the reason it's here. So they haven't discontinued this entirely, contrary to what I thought they did. So let's talk about this. I'm not gonna talk about it in detail because I've already talked about it in 50 different videos. This is, or was, my most ultimate favorite powder. Even now it is. I will say that it's a banana powder, will suit every single skin tone. It brightens up the under eyes so nicely. Like, the banana powder truly does its job. It's so finely milled. If you have this on your under eyes, no one will be able to tell that you have powder. It just looks so natural on your face. There is a good reason why I talk so much about this product. If they ever make a full pan of that banana powder, I will buy that, even if I have 50 different powders in my vanity. This easily lasts on me throughout the day. 6 to 7 hours is a piece of cake for this powder. If you like something that has more coverage, this might not be a perfect choice, but as someone who just likes to set her under eyes and her face for that matter, I think this is a really pretty one. It is hyped up for a reason. Go get this if you can. Next, coming on to something that I recently got but I instantly fell in love with. This is the Lakme 9 to 5 Primer Plus Matte Powder Foundation. It is a powder foundation, and I think they want you to apply this with the sponge that it comes in. I don't, because I kind of use it as a compact powder more than anything. But this comes with a mirror. It also has a puff. Now that puff is very stiff, so I wouldn't apply the powder directly with the puff, but I can pick some powder in and apply it in the areas for touch-up reasons, and that's when the puff comes in handy. For initial application, I prefer a brush, and this has been in existence for a while, but I never really thought of picking this one up. One reason being the shade range, and I got the darkest shade. This is in the color Honeydew, if I didn't mention that. I got this for 290 rupees, which I could have gotten 2 different shades. This shade suits me, but this is better for me for all over my face. For underneath my eyes, I think I can go a shade lighter. Do I have to? No, but I think I would prefer that a little bit. Even to touch, this powder is really soft. It lasts on me really well. I think I can easily go 5 to 7 hours without retouching this powder. Yes, I will be a little shiny, but this does set my face really well, and I do really like this. Considering this does last on me longer than the Innisfree one, I think I prefer this slightly over that. The pricing, the quantity, I like this a lot. Let's talk about the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder. I got this in the shade 235 Pure Beige. I got this matched at a counter. From what my foundation shade is, I'm usually a 322 in Fit Me. This is definitely not my color, but it worked because I mainly use this underneath my eyes. But this was the first ever powder that I got for myself. The reason why I got it was because I knew it was trusted, but I also knew that people weren't crazy about this, and I was fine with this. And after trying other powders as well, that is the same way I feel about this. It's just a very average powder for me. The good part about this is that it has a really good shade range. That is the one pro that I can think about this. Coming on to the cons, first of all, it's just not that impressive for me. Even with my under eyes, a place that I absolutely do not have oils cracking in, this does not set them well. Even if I use a really good concealer, something really good underneath my eyes, this will make it crease after a while. I think this is a good beginner's product, a product through which you can discover what you like. So now I know I want something that sets my under eyes even more. You kind of find your niche with this and then you know how to fulfill it. But as someone who has used multiple products now, I think this is my least favorite one that I've tried. I've learned what I wanted, I've got what I wanted now, and I know how I like my makeup to be done, and I've moved on. So it's time to say goodbye to this one. I would any day prefer the Lakme powder over this one, but good luck finding a shade with the Lakme one. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. And the last one, let's talk about the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. This is in the shade 25 medium. I have reviewed this. If you want a detailed review, go and watch that video. Let's start with the packaging itself. It's fine. I think before the Innisfree one, the loose powder packaging, I just couldn't imagine a packaging that would be good for a loose powder. But considering that this is very basic, it's bare minimum, but also seeing how much you're paying for the quantity, I think it's fine. The worst part about this is this has 4 shades, which is worse than Lakme. If you are doing worse than Lakme in terms of shade range, I think it's a big problem and you should really self-reflect. But this has 4 shades. One of them or 2 of them are pink, and I happen to have the pink undertone one. I can write an essay about how much I hate the undertone of this powder, and you might not realize that. Try applying a yellow tone powder on one side and apply this on the other side. You will not be able to ignore how pink this looks. And I know some people who probably want this powder in the same shade will ignore all of my remarks and still buy this because you will find it on a discount, you will get it, and then you'll realize. But if you have any self-restraint, do not buy this. If you're around my skin tone, I think the 30 shade, which is a yellow undertone, I think that might work for you as well. And as far as the formula goes, the formula is really nice. I do really like this. I think in my review I sounded a lot more negative just because I was disappointed and all of that added up. But this, once you apply, I think if I had to rate them in terms of how matte they are, the Innisfree one comes first. This is the one that comes next. That is how mattifying it is. The quantity is just great. The staying power is really good. 6 to 7 hours is something you can easily go through with this powder without retouching. I would just say choose wisely if you're gonna pick this one up. 25 medium is very pink to the point where it will bother you. There is not one day where I go and think, oh, today I'm gonna use my Maybelline Fit Me powder. It's not gonna happen. I will never wear this powder outside. So if you're a lighter skin tone person, I think you'll be able to find your shade in the other 2 ones. But if you're around my skin tone, do not purchase this. Go for 30, or at least check the swatches for the shade 30. This particular one truly annoys me and I do feel like my money has been wasted. My Lakme one is very satisfying to me and I do not think I'm currently looking for a new powder. This one is good too. If the color was good, I'm not sure how I would rank both of these, but for now I definitely prefer the other one. And now coming on to the final ranking of these powders in my personal preference, the last one would definitely be the Maybelline Fit Me one. It's just average. The shade range is good, but that's about it. I just don't have a lot to say about this. The next one would be the Innisfree No Sebum Mineral Powder. It is really mattifying, but I think I can go without that mattifying of an effect just because it is expensive. It has less quantity. I think I just prefer the other ones which are more affordable than this one. Also last on me for a longer duration than this does. The finish was just amazing, but it wasn't enough to tempt me into buying this again. It is absolutely adorable though. The next one for me particularly would be the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. It is a good formula, bad shade range, and also very average packaging, and I can make do without using this powder. Even if the formula is amazing, I find the other ones comparable too. So yeah, considering the price, shade range, the quantity you are getting, I think it's fair to put this in the 3rd place. The second one would be the Wet n Wild MegaGlo Contouring Palette. You can get this, but you also cannot get this. If it wasn't for this not being available, I'm not sure if I'll place this in the 2nd place or the 1st one. But for now, I think this is tied up with the 1st place in terms of how much I like this powder and its formulation. But as an individual product, I think this has some flaws like not being available. So this is in the 2nd place. And the 1st place goes to the Lakme 95 Primer Plus Matte Powder Foundation. I haven't tested this as a powder foundation, but I'm sure it will be fine. As I mentioned, I use it more as a compact powder and I do really enjoy this. I am kind of sad I did not find about this previously, and I'm also glad that I have this in my collection now. If you have been wanting it, go and buy this, and I think this is gonna be one of my favorite products for the year. So yeah, that completes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any video requests. Please like, comment and subscribe. All of that helps my channel a lot. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.